Welcome back to Firefly Studios. My name is Kadia, and today we are going to continue our C# Fundamentals course, going into the dot operator. So for this, I have opened up our project from before. I tossed a circle in, attached these two example scripts, and we'll jump right into it. So I've got two scripts here. The first script that we're going to look at is our dot set speed script. So we've got two variables here. We've got a dot get speed. So we talked about this in the variable video, but here's an example of using a script that I have made as a type. So this dot here is looking for this type of script. So this dot is equal to a particular instance of that script. Then I've just got a private float speed, and then I've got some more code down here, which we'll get into. First, we're going to use the dot operator to assign the script on our circle, our dot get speed script, equal to this variable dot. And if you notice, it's private, so I can't just drag it in the inspector. So the way we do this is we use the dot operator. So I'm going to say dot equals, and then we're going to do this dot get component dot get speed, and then a semicolon. So the dot operator right here, this is allowing us to move from this, which is this script, to our get component, our other component. So I've drawn out a diagram here which can illustrate how it's all set up. So currently, we have a transform component, a sprite render component, a dot set speed, and a dot get speed script on this object. So that is borne out in this diagram. The only one that isn't included in here, which I guess I can't add right now, is our sprite renderer, which will go right here. Sprite renderer. Alrighty. So we are currently, this script right here is going to be our dot set speed script. So dot set speed. This is where we currently are in our script. We are inside of the start function of this script, which we can even just make another thing here for. So in order to get access to our other script, which is on our game object, this is dot get speed, we have to transverse through this script up to the game object, over to that other component, and then send that information back. So what the dot operator allows us to do is right now we are right here. Let me use our pen here. So we are right here. The dot allows us to go from this. So this is this part right here, our script. This dot get component. So that comes up here, and then it looks for all the components on our game object. So our options are a sprite renderer, a dot get speed, or transform, or our dot set speed script. And then if you notice here in our script, then we tell it we are looking for our dot get speed component. So that's how it knows that over here, we want to then go over here and get this information. So now our dot variable, and our class variables right here, is equal to this script. That allows us to access it. Then in our update, here you can see another example. I can kind of go into these at the end. For now, all you need to know about how these work is this is asking, did we press the space button? And this is asking, did we press the W button? So here, we're calling our buff speed function. And what we want to do in this function is get our buff amount and increase our speed by that. So what we can do here is do dot get buff amount times speed. And then we're going to set that equal to speed. So what this does, dot get buff amount. So this is going into this instance of the script, and then it allows us to go inside of that script to our get buff amount function. So on this diagram, dot is, let me turn on my pen, erase this. So dot is a variable right here, and this variable is equal to an instance of this script, or the script on our game object. So dot means we'll start right here with our variable, which equals this, and then it says dot get buff amount function. So it goes straight down here and then does this function and then tells us whatever the answer to that is. Then we take that information, multiply it by our other variable, the speed, and then we can do stuff with that. So in our case, what we're going to do is we're going to now go here, and now our speed is buffed. So our speed should be increased by some factor. Now, we can just test it out, and then we're going to do a little bit of movement as a bonus. Alrighty, so we're going to say our buff amount is 2x. We'll say our speed starts off at 5. So our speed should go up to 10 once we hit the space button. And I've got a debug.log set up right here. So we should see in the console our speed variable change. So I'm going to hit play. Our speed is 5. And then I'm going to hit space. Now our speed is 10. And if you see also here, it updated to 10. So now the next part we're going to hook up is I'm going to hit the W key, and it's going to teleport our circle upwards by a couple of units. But in order to tell that we're moving, because right now we're in a void, I need to create another object to just compare it to. So I'm going to make this square. We're going to say it's green, and then we're just going to move this square right here, and then say it's our ground. Just so, you know, we got visual reference. So we're going to go to our script. And now what we want to do, in order to teleport something, we can just modify our transform values. So if I increase my Y here by 10, that's going to make us go up by 10 units. So we're going to move up like this. 10 is going to be a lot. Let's do 2. We'll do 2. So we'll do that. All right. So in order to access this transform, again, we can just use our diagram here. All right, so what we have to do is we have to go from this, which is our script that we're in. We're going to have to go dot game object, dot transform, dot position to access our position component. And then we will set up a vector2 to allow us to move in it. So the way we're going to do this in our code is we're just going to go here, and we're going to do, let me erase that. We're going to go this dot transform dot position equals new vector2. That's just because this is a 2D game, so we've got 2 axes, our x and our y. And then we don't want to move on our x, so I'm going to just put a 0 here. But we do want to move on our y, so I'm going to say our y is going to be this dot transform dot position, so our current position in our y, plus our speed. So this is going to make us move up by whatever our speed amount is. So I'm going to save this. I'm going to select my circle. I'm going to change my speed value to 1. So by default, currently our y is 0. When I press play and I press W, we move up 1 unit. Our y changed to 1 right here. I'm going to hit space and press W, and now it jumped up to 3 because our speed got buffed. Now if I hit space again, now it jumps up to 4, so it should go up to 7, which is no longer in our camera view, but we can see it right here. So that is how the dot operator works. It allows us to transverse up and down the hierarchy of code. You can also move sideways, so that's what's happening right here. So technically what we could do is this dot game object dot transform dot position, or we can just cut out our game object and go this dot transform. So you can move up or down 1 unit on this hierarchy. So you can go up or down. You can also move side to side. So I can go from this over to our transform component and then to where we want. So we don't necessarily have to go through those extra steps. All right, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Please leave any questions that you have in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and have a great day.